Okay, now we'll start with unit 5, that is numerical methods. Okay, there are two units on numerical method. In this unit, we'll learn some numerical methods depending on the type of equations, and in 6th unit also we are going to see numerical method only. Okay, with different types of problem. So in this unit, unit 5, we are going to see the different topics on numerical method. The first topic is numerical solution of algebraic and transcendental equations. And the method to solve that are bisection method, secant method, regular falsi method, and Newton-Raphson method. Okay, so we are going to see 4 different methods to solve algebraic and transcendental equation. Then the other topic in this unit is solving the system of linear equation. So we are going to see what is the system of equations, linear equations, and what are the different methods. We are going to see Gauss elimination, LU decomposition, Cholesky method, Jacobi, and Gauss-Seidel method. Okay, so all these methods we are going to cover in this 5th unit. Now, what is actually need of this numerical method? Okay, what happened? There are many direct methods are available for solving the system, for solving the equations, but many times that methods are quite complicated. Or if you want to write a program, or if you want to write some algorithm for solving the equation, then that we can do by using numerical method. Okay, because many direct method solving on computer or writing the algorithm for that is quite difficult. But by using with the help of numerical method, many complicated problems can be easily solved. So we are going to see different techniques of numerical method for solving different types of equation. So in first part, we are going to see how to solve algebraic and transcendental equation. Now, firstly, we'll see what do you mean by algebraic and transcendental equation. Okay, so firstly, consider the definition of algebraic and transcendental equations. The algebraic equation, it is nothing but the polynomial of the form a naught x raised to n plus a1 x raised to n minus 1 plus n equal to 0. Okay, where this a naught, a1 up to n are these real numbers and n is any finite number. Okay, so any equation in terms of x, it may be of any power. Okay, that equation we call as an algebraic equation. If power of x is 1 everywhere, then it become a linear equation. If power of x is 2, highest power is 2, it is a quadratic equation. If highest power is 3, it is a cubical equation. Like that, we are having, depending on n, different names are there for that algebraic equation. Okay, and the second is transcendental equation. What do you mean by transcendental equation? These equations are non-algebraic equation which contains transcendental functions. Now, what are these transcendental functions? Exponential function, logarithm, trigonometric functions, all sine, cos, tan, okay, all these functions. If that equation contains all such type of function, then it is called as a transcendental equation. Okay, so any polynomial of finite degree is an algebraic equation, and other than these powers of x, if we are having other terms, exponential, logarithm, trigonometric functions, then it become a transcendental equation. Yeah, and we are going to see how to find the roots of this equation. What do you mean by roots of the equation and how to find it numerically? Okay, a general form of this algebraic or transcendental equation, we can write it as some function of x equal to 0. This function may be powers of x, it may contain logarithmic term, it may contain trigonometric terms, any such equation, any term, any such terms equating it to 0. Okay, that equation we denote it by either algebraic or transcendental equation. And then we have to solve this equation, means we want to find the values of x which satisfies this equation. The values of x which satisfies this equation, that we call as a root of f of x. Okay, and many situation we come means while solving many problem, we come across the equation such that we want to find the values of x. Okay, if you are having a quadratic equation, then we have the standard formula minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. If you are having a cubical equation, then we have simplification, or we can use the synthetic division to get the roots. But if higher power terms are there, or if so many exponential or logarithmic terms are involved, then solving that equation becomes difficult. So there comes numerical method. By using numerical method, we can solve it quite easily, or we can use some means we can formulate that methods to write algorithms or program. Okay, now what this root of f of x graphically represents. Okay, suppose if you draw the graph of f of x on xy axis, then suppose this is that graph, then what is the meaning of root of the equation? Okay, the intersection of this f of x with x-axis. Okay, the intersection of this function, because we want this function to be 0, and this function becomes 0 for on all the points on this axis. So intersection of this curve with x-axis, that points are nothing but roots of this equation. Because if you put f of if you replace x by x1, then at this point this function is 0. At this point also this function is 0. So at this point also the function is 0. So what is graphically root of any equation equal to 0 represent? It is the intersection of the curve of that function with x-axis. Okay, at many points the curve may intersect with this. If it is not intersecting, then this function cannot be 0. Okay, it will be 0. Then there must be at least one point at which the function graph of that function will intersect x-axis. Okay, so carefully remember this, because while solving the problems, if we have the idea about how the nature of that function, then we can easily get these roots. Okay, now we'll see what are the actual methods. The first method we are going to see is the bisection method. Very easy and very important method. What we have to do, first of all, take any algebraic or transcendental equation. Consider f of x equal to 0 be any algebraic or transcendental equation. Any type of equation may be there. We can find its root. Then find out 2 points. Find out 2 points A and B such that the product of f of A and f of B is less than 0. What we have to do, we have to find 2 points A and B such that the product of f of A and f of B is negative. Then the root of this function f of x lies in the interval AB. Okay, why it is so? Because if we have one point, means if they are these 2 points are means product of these two is negative, then one point is above x-axis, another point will be below x-axis, and then if we join that points, then it will somewhere on x-axis it will intersect. So because of this property, if f of A into f of B is less than 0, then there must be at least one root between these 2 points. So it must lie between A and B. And if we have this interval, then we can find one point C, that will be addition of this endpoints A plus B by 2. And if at that point f of C is 0, then C is the root of the function. Okay, root of that equation. What to do? First of all, we have to find 2 points for which the product of that function at that point is less than 0. Then find the midpoint of this interval. If at that point function is 0, then C is the root of the equation. If f of A into f of C, if the product of that means if it is not 0, if f of C is not 0, then take the product of that f of C with f of A. If it is negative, then the root will lie between A and C. Otherwise, if f of c into f of b is negative, then the root will lie in C and D. And if it lie between A and C, then take the midpoint of A and C and again follow the same procedure. If it is like between C and B, take a midpoint of these two and again follow the same procedure. Find a value of f at that point. If it is 0, then that will be the answer. Non-zero, then take the product with these endpoints, f of A, f of C, check which is negative. And then accordingly, the interval get reduced. Okay. So here, what happened? Every time we reduce that interval, we make a half of that interval. We take bisection of that interval. Bisection means dividing it into half. Bi means 2. We are taking section. We are taking 2 sections of that interval. So because of that, this method is called as a bisection method. Okay, and then every time get a new interval and go on reducing the length of the interval. So after finite number of steps, we can get the required root. Now I just show you how graphically it looks like. So you get the better idea about this method. Suppose we have this function f of x. We got 2 points, say A and B, such that f of b is negative and f of a is positive. Okay, these points we have to find by trial and error. We have to just check for which value the function is positive and negative. And we get the product negative only when the functions are having opposite sign. Because if they are having both positive, their product will be positive. Both are negative, then product will be positive. So product will be negative only when they are having opposite sign. So either we may have f of a positive, f of b negative, or f of a negative, f of b positive. So either of the condition may be there. Then if we have such condition, then the root will be between a and b. So initial interval will be a to b. Then take a midpoint of a and b. Take a midpoint of a and b. Suppose that is say c1. This is a midpoint. Then find the value of f at this midpoint. Find the value of f at this midpoint. Then check whether the product of this with this is positive, negative, or product of this with this is negative. Or you can say which functions are having opposite sign. This is negative, so their product cannot be negative. This is positive, this is negative, so product of these two is negative, or these two are having the opposite sign. So new interval will be a to c1. So this will be the new interval. Whichever having the opposite sign functions in between that 2 points, the new interval will be. Now take the midpoint of these two. Take the midpoint of a and c1. Suppose that midpoint is say c2. Then find the value of this function c2. Find the value of the function at this point c2. Say f of c2. Here it is negative. Then check product of this with this previous interval f of this and this, whether it is positive or negative. This is negative, this is negative. So product of this two is not negative, but this is negative, this is positive. So the product of these two is negative. So the new interval will be a to c2. Whichever having the opposite signs in between that will have the new interval. So a to c2 is the new interval. Now again take the midpoint of that, say c3. Find the value of function at c3. Check what is the value of that function at c3. If it is product of these two is negative, take that new interval. If the product of this two is negative, the new interval will be this. Like that, every time we find the new points, check with the previous point, and which are having the opposite sign, that new interval. Okay, so if we have and like that, if we go on continuing like this, we can reach up to the root. Okay, so here no separate formula to remember. What to remember? First of all, we have to find the initial points a and b for which the function is positive and negative. Then take a half of that interval. Then what is the midpoint of that interval? At that point, find the value of the function. Then check with the initial interval, whichever having the opposite sign, take that new interval. Find the midpoint of that, check that value of that function at that point and previous values, which are having the opposite signs, take that new interval. Take midpoint of that. Again, check opposite sign, take new interval. Check opposite sign, take new interval. Like that, continue. And after some finite number of steps, we can reach to the desired root. Okay? So very easy. No separate formulas to remember. Just to remember is a method. I'll take a problem, then you understand this method quite easily. So consider the first problem. Obtain an approximate root of x raised to 4 minus 4x minus 9 equal to 0 by using bisection method. Okay. Here it is asked to find approximate root. Okay. Generally it is asked up to 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. So depending on that, we have to the number of steps will depends on that root, means up to 2 decimal or 3 decimal. That according to that we have to simplify the terms. Now, what is the method? First of all, take this equation as f of x. If there is no 0 on right hand side, then take all the terms on this side and then equate it to 0. Then whichever term is equal to 0, take that term as f of x. So considering f of x is equal to x raised to 4 minus 4x minus 9. Now, we have to find the initial interval. So for finding the initial interval, by trial and error, check it for different values. Put x equal to 0, put x equal to 1, put x equal to minus 1. Like that, for few values, we have to check at which values the function is positive and negative. Okay, that we have to do randomly. It is not any such fixed formula for it. So you can try with plus 0, plus 1, plus 2, minus 1, minus 2, like that. Try for different values. So initially substituting 0. Okay, and better way is to check it for integers, because doing calculation with integer is very easy. So putting first 0 in this function, what happened? 0 raised to 4 minus 4 into 0 minus 9, that will be minus 9, which is negative. Check for plus 1, 1 raised to 4 minus 4 into 1 minus 9 equal to minus 12. This is also negative. We want opposite sign. This is negative, this is negative. So this is not useful. You can check for minus 1 or you can check it for plus 2. Anything you can do. Okay, checking for plus 2. It will be 2 raised to 4 minus 4 into 2 minus 9. That comes out to be minus 1, which is also negative. So again, you can try for the next value or you can try for the negative value. No problem. Okay, so I'm checking it for 3. So f of 3 is 3 raised to 4 minus 4 into 3 minus 9. And that is nothing but 60, which is positive. Okay, so all these are negative, but this is positive. So this is negative, this is positive. So the root must be in between these two. Okay, whichever continuous terms we are having, in between that, if you are having positive, negative, then in between that we must have the root. Okay, these are values we are taking arbitrary. You can check it for negative values. Okay, no problem. Here, power of this is 4. So there are actually 4 roots of this equation. And one of the roots we are finding by this method. So there may be some other root in the negative interval. No problem. Okay, so here we are considering this is negative, this is positive. So we are considering the interval 2 to 3. Okay. So the roots lies between the interval 2, 3. Okay, because at one value it is negative, at one value it is positive. So in between these two, the root must be. Okay. Now find the midpoint of these two, 2 and 3, half of this. So taking x1 as 2 plus 3 by 2, that is 2.5. Now find the value of the function at this point. Find the value of f of x at 2.5. So f of 2.5 will be 2.5 raised to 4 minus 4 into 2.5 minus 9. That will be 20.06. which is positive. Now what is value of f of 2? Negative. Value of f of 3? Positive. And this is positive. So root cannot be between these two values, positive values. The root must be between one negative, one positive value. So what must be the next interval? It must be between 2 and 2.5. Check for the opposite signs. This is positive, this is positive. So root cannot be between 2.5 and 3. This is negative, this is positive. So root must be between this new interval. That is, new interval will be 2 and 2.5. The root will lie in the new interval 2 and 2.5. Okay, so carefully remember for which values the function takes opposite values. In between that points, the root will lie. So here opposite values are for f of 2 and f of 2.5. So that will be the new interval. Now again take the midpoint of these two and then find a value of the function at that point. Then check whether it is positive or negative. Depending on that, decide the new interval. How up to what we have to continue? We have to continue until the values of x, the corresponding the successive values of x are matching up to certain digits, up to certain decimal places. Generally, it is asked to solve the problem correct up to 2 decimal places. So where the two decimal places of 2 successive x get matched, then that will be the approximate root. Okay, so we have to continue this. I will prepare a table so that it becomes easy to understand. Just now we got x1, that will be midpoint of 2 and 3, that is 2.5. At that point, the value of the function is positive. So the new interval we got is 2 and 2.5. Now find the midpoint of these two, 2 and 2.5. The midpoint of 2 and 2.5 is 2 plus 2.5 divided by 2. That will be 2.25. Find the value of the function at 2.25. That comes out to be 7.62. And this is positive. Now for 2.5 it is positive, for 2 it is negative. This is positive. So we cannot have the interval between these positive values. It must be between this negative value and this positive value. And this positive value is at 2.25. So the new interval will be this negative 2 and positive is at 2.25. So 2 and 2.25 will be the new interval. Now find the midpoint of these two. Finding the midpoint, find the value of that function at this midpoint. Check whether it is positive or negative. Positive, then replace this positive term by this value. If it is negative, then replace negative term. Okay, because we want opposite signs. So to get opposite sign, if we get positive, then replace this previous positive value by this value. If we get f to be negative, then replace negative value by this corresponding value. Okay, so here it is positive, so we are replacing 2.25 by 2.125. Whether these two are matching up to certain digits? No, this is 25 and this is 125, so they are not matching, so we have to proceed. So next will be again half of this interval. Half of this interval is 2.0625. Find the value of the function at that point. Check for positive, negative. Positive, then replace positive value by new value. If it is negative, then replace the previous interval by this new value. Okay, this f of 2 is negative and f of this is positive. So we are replacing this positive value by this new value. So new interval will be 2.2 and 2.20625. Again find half of this. It will be 2.03125. Whether these two are matching, only one digit is matching. Okay, next digit is different, so we have to proceed further. So find a value of the function at this point. Check for positive, negative, then replace negative value. If it is positive, then replace positive value. Here it comes out to be minus 0.10. So we are replacing negative value. We are replacing 2 by this new value. So new interval will be 2.03125. Positive value as it is 2.06. 25. Find half of this interval, midpoint of this interval. Midpoint comes up to be 2.046875. Whether they are matching x5, x6, no. This digit is second digit is not same, so we have to move further. Find the value at this function, value of the function at this point. It is positive, so replace this positive root by this. We get a new interval. If it is negative, then replace negative value by this value. Okay, so we get this value of the function at this point is negative, value of the function at this point is positive. Take half of this interval. It is 2.0390625. Check the function at this point, positive. These two are not matching, so we have to do further steps. So this is positive, so replace positive value by this new root. Okay, so this is positive, so replacing this term by new term. And now take half of this. Half of this will be 2.035152625, and you can see that 2.03. So up to 2 digit they are matching, and generally it is mentioned in the problem that solve it up to same up to 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. If it is asked 3 decimal places, then here the third decimal place is 9. Here it is 5. So we have to proceed further. Okay, but here we are considering the problem for the roots up to 2 decimal places. So up to 2 decimal places, these two are matching, these two are same. So the next iteration, the next value, we called it as an approximate root of the function. So this is the approximate root, 2.035152625. Okay, so it is very easy method. Important is doing the calculation and remembering the corresponding method. So firstly, we find by trial and error the interval, check it for 0, +1, +2, -2, like that, check it for different values. For whichever 2 successive values, we get opposite sign. That will be the initial interval. Then find the midpoint of that interval, check whether it is positive or negative. For positive value, replace previous positive value by this. And if it is negative, then replace if function is negative, then replace previous negative value by this. Like that, go on, continue and get the new intervals at a time, and check which 2 values of x are equal up to certain decimal places, whatever it is asked in the problem. And accordingly, whichever 2 terms are same, then the last iteration gives us the answer. Okay, so you can see here we are not using any other formula. We are just taking mean of the interval, half of the interval. Otherwise, we are using the given function itself. Okay, so very easy method, bit lengthy because we have to do so many calculation to get the answer up to the corresponding steps. If it is asked 3 digits, then we have to do 10 to 15 iterations, more iterations. Okay, so but this is quite easy because no formula is involved, and you can easily write the algorithm for it. Okay, you can easily write a program for solving it. So it is that way easy. Okay, answer the next problem. Obtain the approximate root of x raised to 4 plus 2x cube minus x minus 1 equal to 0 by using bisection method. So again, take all that equation on the left hand side as f of x, and firstly check it for different values of x. Check x equal to 0, x equal to 1, like that. Check for which values function takes positive and negative value. That then take that successive interval, successive point to get the interval, and then half of that gives us the new interval. So taking this equation as f of x, putting x equal to 0 into it, it gives us minus 1, 0 raised to 4 plus 2 into 0 cube, minus 0, minus 1. That will be minus 1, negative. Take next one, you can try for plus 1 or minus 1, any value. I'm checking it for plus 1. For plus 1, we get 1 raised to 4 plus 2 into 1 cube, minus 1, minus 1. and this comes out to be +1. This is negative, this is positive, and we want such terms for which it is positive and negative. So the interval will be 0, 1. Okay, as we are getting opposite sign, we have to continue this until we get opposite sign, and for whichever consecutive numbers we get opposite sign, that points forms a interval. 0 to 1 is the interval. Take half of it. 0 plus 1 by 2, it will be 0.5. Put this 0.5 into the function. Check the value of the function at that point, whether it is positive or negative. If it is negative, then for whichever value we get negative, replace it by new value. F of 0 is negative, so we replace 0 by 0.5. We replace negative value by this 0.5. If it is positive, then we replace 1 by 0.5. If it is negative, if we are getting same sign, then we replace 0 by 0.5. So new interval will be 0.5 to 1. Okay, which are having the opposite, that forms a new interval. Okay, so the new interval 0.5 to 1. So again, I will prepare a table, so by that you get the idea. So first x1 will be 0.5 and f of 0.5 is negative, so new interval is 0.5 to 1. Take half of that. Half of 0.5 and 1 is interval of that. Half of that interval is 0.75. Value of the function at 0.75 is minus 0.59. This is negative. And if it is negative, then what to do? We have to replace negative value by new value. Replace negative value by this new value 0.75. We are replacing by values of x, not by values of f. So we just have to check f is positive or negative. And then we have to replace corresponding terms of x. So replacing 0.5 by 0.75. So this is the new interval. Take midpoint of it. X is 0.875. Find the value of f at that point. You can see it comes out to be greater than 0, positive. So replace this positive point by this point. If it is negative, then replace negative point. If it is positive, then replace this positive value by 0.875. This negative, positive, these are the signs of the function at these points. Okay, these are the signs of function at these 2 points. Okay, depending on that, we have to do the corresponding replacement. So we get new interval. Take half of that. Again, check f at that point, negative. Replace negative value by this new point. This will be the new interval. As these two are not matching, so we have to go further. The half of the interval is 0.84375. These two are not matching, only matching up to first digit. Generally, it is asked up to 2 decimal or 3 decimal. They are not matching, so we find the value of f is negative. Replace negative by this new value, so you get the new interval. Take half of that. These two are not matching, so find f. F is again negative. Replace this negative by new value. You get a new interval. Half of that, 0.867. This is not matching. Find a value of f at this point, positive. So replace positive term by new value. Take half of this interval. And it is 0.8632. And you can see these two are matching, 8686. These two are matching up to places. So we consider this is the approximate root. Okay. If you want to get some more accuracy, you can do some more iterations. These we call as iterations. Finding x2, x3, x4. These are called iterations. Okay. So we can do more iterations for getting more accuracy. Okay. This is up to 2 decimal places. Like that, you can go up to 4 decimal, 5 decimal, and that if you write the program, then you can go up to any decimal places. Okay. And accordingly, you can get approximate root. Okay. So this bisection is very, very easy method. A little bit lengthy, but by doing proper calculation, we can easily get the new intervals and we can get the roots for that equation. Similar to this, we are having one more method that we call as a regular falsy method. Now, what is this regular falsy method? Okay, we are having the equation f of x equal to 0. We want to find the roots of that equation. As we are done in the bisection method, do the same thing. Find the points a and b such that f of a into f of b is less than 0. And if it is less than 0, then the root must be in the interval a and b. Then what is the next step? If f of a is negative, then take x naught equal to a and fix the endpoint b. And by using this formula, xn plus 1 equal to xn minus f of xn divided by f of b minus f of xn into b minus xn. Okay, by using this formula, we can get the new value. Okay, previously we use half of the interval to get the new value, but here we are using this formula to get the new value. And here we are fixing one end. B is fixing. So firstly, the interval is AB. Then next will be interval will be x1b. Next point x2b. Like that, we are taking the new interval where one point we are fixing. And what is that point we are fixing? Where the function, where when f of a is less than 0, we fix the point b. And if we simplify this formula, if we multiply here and simplify it, we get this formula. So you can remember either this formula or you can remember this formula. Xn into f of b minus b into f of xn divided by f of b minus f of xn. Now, if we are having f of a greater than 0, if f of a is greater than 0, then take x naught equal to b and fix the other point. Fix point a. If f of a is positive, fix point a. If f of a is negative, then fix point b. The next point will be xn plus 1 will be, just we are replacing b by a terms. Okay, and subtract means changing the sign. Xn minus f of xn into xn minus a divided by f of xn minus f of a. If we simplify this, we get this formula. Okay, so here we fix point a. The first interval will be a to b. The next will be a to x1, a to x2, a to x3, like that, a to xn. Up to like that, we have to continue. Here we fix point b, then we take x1b, x2b, x3b, like that we reduce the interval. Here we reduce the interval a to x1, a to x2, a to x3, like that we have to reduce the interval. Okay, one point is fixed depending on the value of the function, and these are the formulas. Okay, which point is fixed, we take that point and xn and do the calculation with that. Okay, now how to remember these formulas? So suppose we have interval. At one point we may have xn. If b is fixed, then we take this as xn, and if a is fixed, then we take this as xn. Then just do the cross multiplication. Do the cross multiplication of these two terms, and then take the subtraction. Okay, by doing the cross multiplication, it becomes a into fb, b into fa, and taking the subtraction of that two terms and taking division of that subtraction, we can get the formula. Okay, so the formula, easy way to remember this formula is just doing the simple cross multiplication and taking the subtraction, a f of b minus b f of a, then dividing these two terms, we get this formula, a f of b minus b f of a divided by f of b minus f of a. Okay, this is the formula. If a is fixed, then replace b by xn. If b is fixed, then instead of a, take xn. Okay, so using this formula, we can do the calculation. So this is also very easy and very, very important. By using this, we can get the roots. Now, graphically, how it represents. I'm just continuing for 10 minutes so that we'll finish this part. So if you consider the graph of the function, again, whatever we have done for the bisection method, firstly, we have to get the 2 points A and B. Then we have to check f of A and f of B, whether product of that two is negative or not. And if it is negative, then the root will be between that 2 points. Okay, so these are the 2 points we are having, A and B. F of A is positive, f of B is root must be between these two. Now, as f of A is positive, so we are fixing point A, whichever is positive, fix that point, and we have to vary this point. Now, to vary this point, now from where we got the formula of regular falsi method, okay, that we get by using the symmetric form of equation of a line. If you know the 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, then what is the symmetrical form of a line? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, sorry, y minus y1 divided by y2 minus y1 equal to x minus x1 divided by x2 minus x1. Making use of that, we get a straight line. So we use the same formula. We draw a straight line which passes through these points, A f of A, B f of B. Okay, and then we find that we equate it to 0, we get this intersection. That will be the point, say x1 or c1. Okay, then find the value of the function at this point. C1, if it is positive or negative, whatever it may be. Okay, we just have to consider this point fixed. A is fixed, so new interval will be this A to C1. Okay, here the sign doesn't matter. We have to fix 1 point. So draw the line from this f of A to f of C1, where it will intersect. Okay, where it will intersect, corresponding to that, we get a new point C2. Then whatever f of C2 we get, then again take the interval from A to C2 and then draw the line. Draw the line joining f of A and f of C2. Get another point C3. Like that, if you go on continuing fixing 1 point and just drawing the line, whichever intersecting point is there, with that we get a new point here, f of C1, f of C2. Draw the new lines, and where it intersect, we get a new point. And like that, we can continue and we can reach up to this root. Okay, so in bisection method, we take half of it. Here we draw line joining these points, and wherever that line intersect, we take that as a new point, and accordingly we get the new interval. Okay, and we can we can continue like this to get this point. Okay, so we'll consider the problem, then understand how to use this method. Obtain an approximate root of x e raised to x minus 2 equal to 0 by using regular falsi method. Again, take that equation as f of x equal to x e raised to x minus 2. Then take different values of x, check for which values of x the function is positive or negative, and then accordingly we have to simplify it. Same thing whatever we had done for bisection. First few steps are same as bisection method. Okay, so first check for which value it is positive, negative. You can try for 0, +1, -1, like that. Any values you can try. Taking 0, the function is -2, which is negative. F of 1 is 0.718, which is positive. So in between these 2 points, the function will lie between 0 and 1 because they are having opposite sign. So root lie between 0 and 1. Now, which is positive? F of 1 is positive. So we have to fix 1 and we have to vary this point. So take this point as A, this point as x0, and do the calculation. So interval is, you can take this interval as AB, and the points are -2 for this and 0.718, and use the formula of regular falsi method. So what is the formula? X1 will be 0 into f of 1 minus 1 into f of 0 divided by f of 1 minus f of 0. We are taking a as 0, b as 1. And these are the f of a, f of b, b f of a, or you can take a f of b minus b f of a divided by f of b minus f of a. Okay, so this is the formula we are using. Simplifying it, do the calculation, it gives us 0.7358. Now find the value of f of x1. Now we have to take the new interval. We are fixing 0. Okay, we are fixing this point. Sorry, we are fixing 1. So we have to take the points, the new interval from this point up to 1. For whichever value function is positive, we fix that point. So we are fixing 1. So we just have to vary this left term. So instead of 0, now take this value. We get this. Now do the calculation with this interval. Take this as a f of b and do the calculation. Use a similar formula again. Get x2. Okay, taking this new interval and doing the calculation. Find out what is x2, how much is x2. Find f of x2. Then replace this previous value by this new value. Okay, keep 1 as it is and replace this value by new value. And again do the calculation. Okay, this is negative, but we want to take the interval from 0.8395 up to 1. And again do the same calculation. Okay, find out the next term, then check whether previous and next values of x are matching or not, and accordingly we have to simplify it. So new interval is 0.8395 and 1. Finding x3. X3 comes out to be 0.8512. Whether x2 and x3 are matching, this is x2 and this is x3. They are not matching. So we have to do further. Find the value of f at this point. Again, take the new interval. Replace previous value by new value up to 1. Find the value of function x, new x. Do the cross multiplication. F of 1 into this value minus f of this into 1 divided by subtraction of these two functions. Okay. Find f x4. Whether x3 and x4 are matching. Yes, x3 is 0.8512, x4 is 0.8513. You can see they are matching up to 3 decimal places. So the approximate value is x4, as x3 and x4 are matching up to 3 digits. So approximate value is x4 equal to 0.8513. So this is more accurate value, or this gives us answer in less number of steps. Okay, this will converge rapidly than bisection method. Okay, firstly we have to get initial interval, then we have to find the value of x by using that formula, a into f of b minus b into f of a divided by f of b minus f of a. Take the corresponding interval for whichever value the function is positive, fix that point, and every time take the new point whichever we get for x. Take that new interval, do the calculation by using standard formula, get a new point, and check which 2 points are equal. For that, that will use as the approximate value. Okay. Consider the next problem. X log x minus 2 equal to 0. Find the root of this equation. This is log to the base 10. Okay. We are having two types of log to the base 10 or log to the base e. Here it is given x log to the base 10x minus 2 equal to 0. So again, take this function as f of x, check for different values, check for x positive, negative value we cannot take because log of negative number is not defined. So we try for non-zero positive values because log of 0 is also not defined. So we check it for the positive values. We can start with 1. Why we are starting with 1? Because log 0 is not defined and log of negative number is also not possible. So we are trying for plus 1. F of 1 is negative. Checking for 2. F of 2 is also negative. So go further because we want opposite signs. F of 3 also negative. So go for the next value, f of 4. F of 4 is positive. F of 3 is negative, f of 4 is positive. So we take the values in between these two. So the interval is 3 to 4. Interval is 3 to 4. The root will lie between 3 and 4. Now check which one is positive. F of 4 is positive. So we have to fix 4. We have to fix the point 4. Now we know what is f of 3, f of 4. We know what are the points 3 and 4. So use the formula. X1 will be 3 into f of 4 minus 4 into f of 3 divided by f of 4 minus f of 3. Put these values and do the calculation. So x1 comes out to be 3.5821. Okay, and find the value of function at that point, because that we need for doing the calculation. So it is minus 0.015. As we are fixing point 4, because it is positive, new interval will be, instead of 3, take this new point. Okay, if we are fixing 4, then we have to change this new value. So the new interval will be 3.58 to 4. Again, take this as A, take this as B, find f of A, that is already we have calculated, f of B also we know. So do the cross multiplication, subtraction, find the value of x2. Okay, so new interval is 0.3521 to 4. X2 will be doing the cross multiplication, we get this. Find this value. This is 3.5969. Whether this value and the previous value are matching? No. So we have to do the further calculation, finding the value of the function at that point, taking the new interval, replacing previous value by new value. 4 we have already fixed. Okay, so do the calculation with this new interval. Next iteration will be for x3. X3 will be this into f of 4 minus 4 into f of this divided by f of this minus f of this. Okay, so simplify it, get the new iteration. It is 3.5973. And you can see 3.59, 3.59. So they are matching up to 2 decimal places. If you want it up to 3 decimal, you can do further. If you want it up to 2 decimal, then you have to stop over here. Okay, so here x2 and x3, they are matching up to 2 digits. So approximate root is this new interval. Actually, this is x3. By mistake, I have taken x2. This is x3. So the new root will be, the approximate root will be 3.5973. Okay, so in bisection method, every time we get a new interval by half of the interval. And here we are fixing one point. We are using that formula in which we do the cross multiplication, and we are varying 1 point. We are fixing 1 point. Which point we are fixing? At which the value of the function is positive. That point we are fixing, and we are varying the other point, and continuing until 2 values become same.